PussyKat is nothing if not consistent. Eh? PussyKat is nothing if not consistent. Suppose you want to go outside, don't you? Hmm? Well, today you can wait until I get dressed. There we go. That's more better. Sun is now on the outside thermometer, sending units housing. We're out of firewood. What do you reckon, Skiddy? You want to go outside now? This was opened last night after he'd finished his medicated sachet. So he's already had half a sachet of food. He's probably had 150 mils of cat milk this morning, eating and drinking well. Obviously, scares the wildlife, but you know, Skiddy's just fine. I figured out he spends between 20 seconds and 2 minutes in obvious discomfort after he's eaten. And it takes him 4 different goes to eat one of them 85 gram sachets. And he's eaten something like 2.5 of them per day. So that works out on average. He's uncomfortable. He's not howling or wailing. He's obviously not totally happy, but that's 1 minute out of every 2 hours. So 119 minutes where he's feeling pretty good, happy with himself. Yeah, ripping my old chainsaw mill stringy bark floorboards to pieces. The boards on which his mother learned to walk. So she did. Had to put floorboards down because the gaps between the slats on the brick pallets were just far too wide for a toddler. And I had a guide rail for my chainsaw. So I learned a sawmill. There we go. I have a couple of swamp wallabies to feed, if that's okay with you. Yeah, mate, not a problem. Here you go. That's a girl. What about you? Hey? You want some too? That's a boy. Thank you for not getting shitty with the little old PussyKat. That's very sporting of you, old man. Very sporting. Yes. Yes. That's an excellent. Oh, well, okay. That's a bit rude. Frightening the swamp wallaby off his bit of bread. The one-handed throw. While making the video. Yes. Skitty Kitty enjoying himself while I, what they call in loco grand parentis, apparentarily. Skitty Kitten warbles on a lot to YouTube. On the morning of the 16th. I think it's about a year precisely since I sat down and let him pull my fangs out. And I do appreciate the cosmic irony of me, a year after starting treatment for mouth cancer, getting to deliver palliative care to a PussyKat with mouth cancer. And he's still eating. Whereas in reference to his 1 minute of discomfort every 120 minutes of living his life, if I don't spend 20 or 25 minutes out of every hour wishing to bloody hell that I still had teeth to eat with, then it's a very unusual hour. You are a very, very inquisitive pussycat. Speaking of which, yesterday he actually went over and sniffed at the pyramid and kept on at it till I took the capstone off and opened up one of the doors, and he got his head in there and had a look at the inverters. He had a look at the voltmeters and amp meters and had a look at the batteries. Yes, yes, he's a very inquisitive pussycat. And I've figured out what seems to be going on is he's got a cross between a pathological fracture and just a rodent ulcer's bone erosion going on his right upper jaw. But his lower jaw is stable because it's all intact, and that's kind of what's holding his face together. And as I said, he's eating, he's drinking, he's walking around, he's sniffing at his environment. He's having a pretty interesting time for a pussycat. If these are to be his twilight days, he's having fun. And amazingly, the short message service, text service works between here and New Kirchen, outside Duisburg in Germany. So I've been able to receive photos of my daughter and her grandmother side by side, and the mother-daughter thing's going on across 3 generations, and it's almost a pity that me wife didn't go over there at the same time. You could have lined the 3 of them up. But as I said, there's always Photoshop. Because, yeah, my daughter and her grandmother side by side. It's quite an interesting photo. So they're having fun. Just like staying with me nana, only in Germany, is what the text says. So there's not much touristy roaming around going on. There was at one stage a bit of a desire to eat pasta in Italy on the weekend, but that's when she gets to meet the grandmother's little brother. So an eminently laudable situation. Halfway around the world for a family gathering. After having been delayed by COVID, after having been delayed by a broken leg. Because, yeah, she was going to go to Germany in 2018. And other things intervened. So there we go. This morning's cat video. Alright. I wondered where these 3 were. Come on. You girls coming for breakfast? Naughty little buggers, they've been out there in the Badlands. Living dangerously on the sheep farm. They do that, pussycat. They think it's okay. They think it's safe. It's interesting. Having daily house guests who are free to come and go behind what you might call enemy lines, because they get shot at in the spotlights at nights. But not here. Isn't that right? Hey, that doesn't happen here. And the thing is, kangaroos are not like Israelis and Palestinians or Ukrainians and Russians. cowboys and Indians perhaps. Kangaroos and swamp wallabies, they don't go in for concepts like collective guilt or collective punishment. There was once a kangaroo, his name was Rowan of Rin, and he showed up here one morning at 6 o'clock and he knocked on the door and I opened the door, a bit of bread in my hand, and he had a bleeding half-moon bullet hole on the leading edge of his ear. And I heard the gunfire in the paddock, and he knew that it was not me who was the arsehole who nearly killed him. Didn't even miss, just... Kangaroo notices cat. Funny, that. It's not a totally smooth transition. So anyway, he shows up at breakfast time, and he knows that I wasn't the arsehole who shot him, so therefore he doesn't tear me a new arsehole when he meets up with me in the morning. It's not like, oh, a human nearly killed me, therefore I'll go and beat the shit out of the first human I can get close to. Like I said, if you get found guilty in a kangaroo court, you must have been doing something ill-advised. Like, did you notice I didn't approach any of these? They come up to me. Therefore, I'm allowed to offer them food. If I was to walk up to them and reach out to pat them, they'd think I was trying to fight. And they'd either hop away, or if they felt cranky, they'd, stand up to me. Anybody who reaches out and tries to pat a kangaroo is making a mistake. You're not being nice. It's not going to be regarded as trying to scratch behind its ears. A kangaroo is not a pussycat, neither is a swamp wallaby. Somehow the video got extended. You get that in the real life, hey? Segways, mate. Interlocking segways. Isn't that? Yes. Yes, interlocking segways. Right? But yeah. The cat is enjoying the holiday camping at Grandpa's and the wildlife is coping with the change. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao. As I said, I am making cat videos, but today I'll have a go at making a video about something else, just to add some spice to the variety of life. Yeah, if that's the level of fear and terror inspired by a one-eyed cat on palliative care, imagine what the young and agile hunting variety can do. I think they're illegal in New Zealand. Ciao.